there were a lot of people saying that Pincus was more or less under pressure, but then a lot of people also who support his leadership. So is this the perfect compromise?
Well, I mean, the one person who has to support any leadership changes at Zynga is Mark Pincus. He has control over the company, not just through his Class A shares, but through his Class B shares, voting rights. He controls this company. Nothing happens there if he doesn't like that. That said, I think it's important to note that Kleiner Perkins Coffee and Buyers, one of the early investors in Zynga, one of the largest shareholders in Zynga, recently sort of doubled down in terms of their management of the company by taking additional board representation. Among that board representation is a guy named Bing Gordon. In fact, Deirdre, I think you've had Bing on your show as well.
Yep.
We've had him on Bloomberg West recently. And Bing worked with Don Mattrick during Don's time at Electronic Arts here in Silicon Valley. So there are some close interlocks here. People have said to us both on camera and off that Kleiner's going to take a much bigger involvement at Zynga because they don't see the assets that Zynga has being utilized. They think that Zynga's further along than a lot of their other companies in attracting a large audience, in getting a lot of user names and standing for something good, if not delivering something good. They think there's still value there to be squeezed out, and apparently they must think that Don Mattrick is the guy to do that.
Okay, and Major Cory, you mentioned he's been at Microsoft about 6 years. What is the buzz on him and what he can bring to Zynga?
Well, he seems to be really highly respected there. There were rumors that he was going to move up in a shakeup at Microsoft. There have been many shakeups at Microsoft in the upper ranks for years. But, you know, if you think of all of the failures that Microsoft has had in the consumer hardware space, whether it's the Zune, whether it's Windows 8.0, whether it's all these touchscreen devices that didn't ship with touchscreens in the most recent holiday period, you've seen Microsoft fail over and over and over again in consumer hardware. Yet one of the greatest consumer hardware success stories ever in consumer electronics is, in fact, the Xbox and Xbox 360. That was all Don's doing. So I think he's riding out of there having done some things that Microsoft doesn't seem to be able to do without him. Now, that said, the price point for the new Microsoft Xbox is going to be a challenge to this company. He might be getting out while the getting's good.
All right, Cory, and I'm just taking a look at Zynga's intraday share. We saw it up as much as 13% earlier, so it's come off those intraday highs, but still up more than 11%.